In the early 1920s, Santa Barbara was a town coming into its own. The completion of Mission Tunnel to the New Gibraltar Reservoir had relieved water shortages, and the population had tripled in the previous 20 years to nearly 20,000 people. But this rapid growth didn't happen without consequences.
Before the end of the 19th century, cities generally grew in a very haphazard way, every which way. And the end result was often congestion, dark and unsanitary tenement buildings, people crammed together.
To counter the ills of unrestricted growth, at the turn of the century, a grassroots movement began to build across the country.
The City Beautiful movement began in the late 1800s with the aim of creating cities that were just more livable and attractive.
Santa Barbara had a strong City Beautiful movement, led by influential community members like Bernard Hoffman and Pearl Chase. They wanted the city to take greater control of the planning and development process to create a city distinct from its sprawling Southern California neighbors. Responding to the growing outcry, in 1915, the California legislature passed a law authorizing cities to create planning commissions, which in turn would be tasked with creating general plans and some lofty goals.
The legislation said that this plan shall be made with the general purpose of guiding and accomplishing a coordinated and harmonious development of the municipality, which will best promote the amenities of life, health, safety, morals, order, convenience, prosperity, and general welfare. It was also to provide for the improvement and control of architecture. It was a very impressive list of goals to accomplish through urban planning. I doubt if the Planning Commission over the years has had much effect on morals.
In 1923, City Council adopted an ordinance creating a City Planning Commission, one of the first in California. The charter gave the Planning Commission the power to prepare and adopt a comprehensive plan for the physical development of the city and to regulate the subdivision of land.
The Planning Commission directs and manages both the growth and development of the city. And they do that through the adoption of a general plan, zoning codes, and the review and approval of development plans.
Well, the Planning Commission takes black letter law and translates it into onto the ground, can render that black letter law more compatible with neighborhoods, and Planning Commission can tailor projects to a specific site and a specific need.
As fate would have it, Santa Barbara's Planning Commission would be afforded an unprecedented opportunity to realize its vision for development due to the 1925 earthquake. After much of downtown was destroyed, the Planning Commission worked with the Plans and Planting Committee to establish Spanish colonial revival as the preferred architectural style for new construction. One of the most powerful tools a planning commission has is zoning.
The zoning ordinance sets the standards for what can be built or what kinds of uses can occur on property around the city.
Industrial, manufacturing, residential, commercial, office uses, open space, parks, so on. So we have our industrial uses between the railroad and the freeway, for example.
In its first 100 years, the Planning Commission has had numerous opportunities to put its imprint on Santa Barbara.
The original general plan in 1964, the Planning Commission recommended changing State Street from essentially 4 lanes of traffic and parking, narrowing that down into a pedestrian wall and creating a parking district. That was a very successful move in the general plan that the Planning Commission spearheaded that led to, if you will, retail revitalization of downtown. The Planning Commission initiated specific plans back in the early 1980s. That led to the development of the expansion here of Chase Palm Park and what today is the Hilton. They also did a specific plan which pushed through Hitchcock and Hope Avenues that create the auto dealerships, providing more retail sales to support basic city services. They've also gone up here on Montecito Street and did, if you will, a specific plan to allow intense affordable housing at one point across from Casa de la Raza.
And while the issues and projects the Planning Commission has seen over the last century have evolved, some challenges have persisted.
You can go back into old news press articles back at the beginning of the 20th century, so the early 1900s, talking about housing availability and housing affordability. It's an ongoing thing. It's been a problem for a long time, as well as too many people, not enough people, too much traffic. You know, all of those related things. Water supply has always been an issue, will remain an ongoing issue.
Whether it's tackling old issues or new ones, the Planning Commission serves a critical role in Santa Barbara.
The ideal is that when council gets a project, it has been, the full dialogue has occurred at the Planning Commission level. And that brings together developer, it brings together citizens, neighbors, and obviously tries to sort out the problems that inevitably occur when change is proposed.
I believe that the function of the Planning Commission, as well as any other board or commission in our community, also is to foster a forum where the public has the opportunity to come out and share their feelings, their opinions, ask pertinent questions, and to get those questions addressed to the best of our ability as we ask the questions that serve our public, and make sure that we are guided by the thoughts, the feelings, the opinions of the greater community.
And so, after 100 years, we appreciate and honor the commitment and work of the hundreds of planning commissioners and staff that have served this community so well.
Just look around. You know, the Planning Commission has had a significant role in making Santa Barbara what it is today.
And we're truly here to serve the public. And if the public can entrust that responsibility in us, then it's our responsibility to give back and to demonstrate that every time we sit on this dais that we are doing the best work that we can possibly do, that we're coming with the most fair, ethical approach, and that we're conducting ourselves to the highest standard that's set for each one of us by our city.
And it is a special place, and we want to keep it that way. To have it grow, but in a way that serves the needs and desires of the citizens of Santa Barbara.